Hi everybody. Thanks for coming in. Checking it out. We're gonna get into some stuff tonight. I've been looking forward to it. It's gonna get a little weird. We're gonna get out some blow torches and go to work. What do you think? Let's heat up this clay a little bit. Do a little exploration. Let's heat up our tool a little bit. Kind of extend that a little bit onto the wings. And maybe not burn down the house while we're doing it. But I guess if I do, you will all be witness. Really careful though. Even though it's oil-based clay, it will still burn. And it stinks when it gets burned. So I'm heating my tool with a torch as well as directly the clay. What does the heat do? Well, it's an oil-based clay. So basically it's turning it into fluid. And I want the texture. If you could see the base, the next camera, yeah. I poured that. I literally heated that in this. I'll show you. I heated the clay last week. There's the camera right now. There you go. So that is heated in the oven. And I'm keeping it warm on a hot pad. And I use the spoon. I'm exploring further with the heat. What we might do. Actually, let's try a little of this action, see how it works on the wings. Thank you, Clarissa. I recognize your name. I believe you've been here before. I think you've graced us. Although there might be more than one person goes by Clarissa. I've known a few. Wish I had a smaller device, maybe, than this hulking big spoon. The spoon is good for the base. By definition, mercurial. This to look like a liquid flame is the goal here. Hence the heat and the melting. And just put my finger right in it. This tail is going to be a whole thing. Let's take a drink break. So that's what we've done. Can you guys see that? You can't see from that angle. One of these angles you can. And I'll turn it around so you can see what I'm working on. See the texture I'm building up on that wing there to try to make it look like liquid fire. That angle really blends into her hair pretty cool. Thank you there, Trick Light. Oh my goodness, what's happening over here? We got glitter gloves. Hello. Definitely needs a blowtorch. I am glitter gloves. I am on TikTok to answer your question. I've got that monitor too far away from my myopia. I've got to get over there to see it, so I apologize. Kind of impressive that this metal tool doesn't heat up too much to hold in my hand, which I thought it would. Did I get a Discord server going? I did not. I am remiss. I did get a couple of shots out for a movie today, though. I actually had to do some work, but no, I did not. I apologize, because that is of optimum importance to me, because I want you guys to start sharing in the group your work. So when I say, have you made art today? You'll say, yeah, and here it is. I did it. Here it is. I am really liking the result I'm getting from this process. You know, it's not done. It needs a little work that I'll do with the brush and the Aquaphor / Vaseline, but overall, yeah, it's doing what I wanted it to. Getting in this area is going to be a pain in the ass. Let's see how we do. Oh yeah. Actually see clay dripping off. Have I named her yet? This is, at least working title, I'm calling it Hand of Fate. Sorry, probably get a loud noise in your ear because the magnet on the microphone keeps hitting the blowtorch. Yes, Hand of Fate. dog barking upstairs. I'm assuming you probably smell this, saying, what the hell is going on downstairs? Attention, Will Robinson. Some weird shit going on downstairs. Let's get into this tail. See what happens, huh? Sorry, I'm not paying as much attention to the chat right now because I have a blowtorch in my hand. What kind of dog do I have? I have a mix, boxer and mastiff. Which in this case produced the body of a natural born killer and the mind of a gentle idiot. Well, he's also never seen violence, so, but he was, I think he was a rescue from a dog fighting group. Because the police brought him into the shelter. Him and several siblings were brought into the shelter, and a mix like that is pretty primed to be a dog fighter, so I assume probably bred for that. Very likable. Very likable dog. Well, we lived in Los Angeles for a long time. Well, I lived there for a long time. My wife is from there. And when we had kids, I always said, well, when we move to a place where we can have a dog, that we're not walking around and torturing the dog in Los Angeles, we will get one. Well, we moved during COVID to Kansas City, where I'm from. So I did not have an excuse to not get a dog. So within the first couple of months, we were on a road trip up to a rescue close to Des Moines, Iowa. And it was a truly great experience. I really liked the lady that ran the place. I think that she liked dogs a lot more than she liked people. She was extremely cranky and hard to deal with, which just made her extremely eccentric and made me like her more. But I think she absolutely adored dogs. And she dealt with people because she had to, to have a shelter. Yeah, a lot of shelter people, I think they probably are in that position because they don't deal well with people. But have a lot of love to give and still need the emotive connection. Another living being, they're all ingrained to need it to some degree. And that's how they find it. This is such a crazy way to work, and I'm really liking it. Just making soup out of this clay and pushing it around. It really doesn't stay liquid for very long, so it's not like it just sits there and drips. Thank you. Val? So freaking blind, I'm gonna lean in. Yeah, I was actually pretty excited to get to the Phoenix all weekend. I was looking forward to it because I don't know how long you've been watching, but I was really dreading the Phoenix for a long time. And I kind of avoided it because I didn't know where I wanted to take it, where it was going to go, or where it wanted to be taken, maybe is a better way to say it. I don't think I took it anywhere where it wanted to be taken. And I feel like it, for lack of a better term, finally spoke to me when I found it. And I think it's going to be really the best. I think it's going to be a really epic part of the piece. You know, whenever I find myself in that place where I'm in avoidance of like, oh, I'll just ignore this part of a piece. It's like, okay, that's the part you gotta take a minute. You gotta get in some marriage counseling with that part right there. You know, you gotta take some time and really invest in it. And that's the real value right there. If you got a problem with it, it's probably where the real value is. And I think that might be the case with this Phoenix. That's gonna be where the real value is, the whole piece. You know, emotionally speaking, for the audience and for the viewer, for the person consuming the art. Which I don't know if you've been watching. You know, my definition of art is the spark that happens in the eye, in the mind of the observer. It's not clay, and it's not paint, and that's just inert earth materials. Art is that thing that happens when your brain fires. And I think the bird in this case is going to spark some brain firing in the observer. So I'm excited about it. See the activity over there in the corner of my eye, but I can't look yet. Little some delicate stuff. What are you talking about? Labyrinth style. You mean as in the David Bowie movie, Labyrinth? With old Mr. Jim Henson's crew? Because that would be cool. Yes. Yes. Well, you know, as a child, I was pretty traumatized by David Bowie's pants and that, so I'm trying not to think about that right now. David Bowie's exposed beanbag was a lot for whatever I was, 8-year-old or something. Might be why I never got into David Bowie until much later. As of recently, I've gotten a lot more into David Bowie's philosophy as an artist. Is really where he's meant a lot to me lately. Not even his music. I definitely, you know, some of his music, I'm like, yeah, well, that's pretty cool. I like that. But his philosophy as an artist was like, I have something to learn here. I must take it in. If that makes any sense to anyone. Q4 that come from, oh. First movie when I was 8. Wow. Yeah. Fairy tale compared to that, yeah. Wait a minute, what? I'm trying to catch up now. Oh, It. I see. You watched the first It movie. I see. It took me a second to interpret what you were saying. It was like, what? I don't understand. You're saying It as in Stephen King. No, I didn't think it was scary like a horror movie. It was just more disturbing to see David Bowie's beanbag. It's a child. Of course, then I went to art school and had to get over that. Had to get over that issue. Time to turn off the flame and have a drink. Wine break. Liquid down here. I can still pour this. See what happens. Any more of that? Well, I'm doing the Phoenix is definitely harder to do than the hair because of where I positioned it. Like I'm sculpting it in place. Normally you would sculpt this not in place, but I wanted to do so because I wanted to maintain the integrity of the composition. You know, I wanted every little thing I did to relate to the whole. So I didn't want to sculpt the bird separate and put it on. It would just not work. So it's definitely harder just because of its positioning. I think I'll probably take some of the learnings from the Phoenix, from the bird, and apply them to the hair though, because I want them to be like visually connected. Just moving it so you guys can see what I was doing, and then the camera changed. What's up, kid? Your mom won't even in her frame when I'm streaming. You just walk right through. What are you looking for?
I need your signature. Is this hot?
Yes.
Okay.
Where?
There.
Right where?
There.
Where? Just next to that?
Yes.
Just too fast. Close enough. There's the dog as we speak. You know, the camera wasn't right for you guys to see it.
Yeah, Cher was on this. She was sending some roses.
She was earlier. Is she tonight?
Yeah.
Did I miss it?
Yeah, she sent some roses.
Oh, thank you, Cher. Good to see you. Sorry I missed your flowers. Did I read before signing? Just signing off on homework. I don't think I was selling children just then. Although I guess I could have. Could have been anything. You're right. Are you still there, Cheryl? Or did you sign off? Probably. It's going to give her news.
Playing with fire.
I'm literally playing with fire.
Very cool.
It's cool because since this is an oil-based clay, it melts.
If this cools down, will it harden?
Yes, that's also clay. That's why it's on the heating pad. But I'm not really using that as much as I thought I would.
Smells like bacon.
It does smell like bacon. It's a little weird, right? You're not wrong. Bacon. Yeah, I'm not sure what about this clay. It smells like bacon. Maybe it's something on the instruments. That seems a bit dubious. I want bacon now. Yeah, you can't really even say bacon. If you like bacon and you just hear the word bacon, all of a sudden your bacon receptors are stimulated. Where are we going? All right, let's take a step back. Let's assess. Actually, that area needs a little work. We'll assess. Keep hitting the. Sorry if that's messing up the microphone. Keep hitting it with the metal squeezle. Thank you. Uluza. I can't even come close to pronouncing that. Let's see, let's put this here. Come back in and reconstruct that a little bit. Got a little mushier than intended. That's all right. definitely liking the heating the middle tool technique. That is working nicely. Get it maybe without dropping in setting the house on fire. Sure, what? Okay, I'm not sure. I think one was 2 inches and wires, I'm not sure. I'm sorry, what's the question? You're talking about the armature? Is that the question we're talking about? What gauge wire he used? Yes, I can answer that question. Now that I can get my myopic eyes close enough. Where's the camera right now? So this is 5/16 all thread. And that's what goes from the tip of the toe here and is mounted into the baseboard, goes up, and her entire skeleton is made of that. If you go back to the, I think January 7th was when I was doing that on YouTube. It was more like a strongman competition bending that thing into place. So her main skeleton's made of that thick steel. So she's not, even though she'll wobble, going nowhere. And then I came in with about, I have an example of it. I came in with probably about an 1/8 inch steel armature that the bird is, her hands, and the knife. And then I used this thinner wire here. Let me hold up in front of the camera. Which camera? This wire is the detail stuff, like fingers, bird feathers. These tendril tail pieces are all twisted, usually twisted, sometimes not twisted, wire of that. So it's, and then this is 1/4 inch. This one, hold the bird up, it's 1/4 inch. So a variety. But she weighs like, she's got like 40 pounds or more of clay on her. So I knew getting into this that I needed to invest in the armature section, or it was gonna come back to haunt me. So I put extra effort into the armature. Not as much digging this music, so I'm gonna just go ahead and click. Yeah. Oh, I love this though. Nice, Leah Samantha Lewis. I'm glad you came back. Yeah, so I had a bad experience, if you will, once with getting too ambitious with a piece, like, or not ambitious, too excited and jumped into it too quickly. And really just ruined it, right? Just ruined the piece because I didn't invest in the armature. And it was like, okay, I learned my lesson once, never again. If anything, I overkill with armature, but in this case, I thought I was overkilling with armature. I still don't think it was. I don't think I overkilled. I think I appropriately killed. I don't think there was any excessive killing involved. I think it was the appropriate amount, because this is very, very heavy. Heavier than I thought it would be. So. Just burned the shit out of my fingers there. Sure I did. At some point, people are going to start watching just to see if this knucklehead burns himself. Kind of like Evel Knievel, they just want to see an accident. NASCAR racing. clay was molten hot and fell on my finger. It's like napalm. All right, now we'll assess. Where are we? Okay, a lot of wiggling. What am I gonna do with it when it's finished? I want to cast it. This will become a resin and a bronze, or maybe, I don't know, some kind of alloy. Some kind of alloy for sure. Yeah, that's cool. If you're talking about your piece, you want to have exposed armature? Absolutely. I like that idea. Really burned the hell out of my finger just then with that molten clay. From one of the angles, you can see the one sketch I did. It's actually still on the wall behind it. And I did that really for geometric purposes, if that makes sense, because I drew it to scale, and then I literally extrapolated lines out to space, and then drew the drawing straight down, drew the sculpture straight down from above onto the wood. You can still see some of the lines on the wood, trying to figure out how to 3D plot, if you will, the armature. It's a pretty cerebral process, honestly, thinking that through like that. At some point, I'm going to want to sculpt flames coming off the bird and wrapping around her arm. It's not really working right now, but that's the intention with this mass here, is to make it look like the flames of the bird are wrapping around her arm. Not there yet. Do you feel this is hard, easy, or just out of practice? This is exploratory. I've never done anything exactly like this before. You know, everything's exploratory. If it's not, what the hell are you doing it for? I've had most of my experience is actually sculpting digitally. I worked in visual effects on movies for a few decades. So this is kind of exploratory for me. I mean, I sculpted in clay in college, so it's more like something I did back in the day a lot. But I haven't actually done anything this robust in clay in quite a while. So it's definitely like an old lover, an old fling kind of thing, like a great experience in that regard. You know, familiar, passionate. Although, you know, I'm old. I'm not a child anymore. So, you know, how you experience those things is very different now. You know, even on this level. Someone asked me last week if I had a muse, and I said no. Actually, they said, was my wife my muse? And I said no. I think that came as a surprise. And I said, well, because I'm old. I have life experience, and I know that a muse is literally just a projection, your projection, onto another human being, but it's not really who they are. It's your projection. So I bring that up just to say, like, yes, this is like an old girlfriend, but at the same time, I'm not the same person I was when I was studying sculpture in college. So in some ways, it's new. But the techniques are there. You know, I still have the experience and the techniques that I gained back then, but my mind is very, very much in a different place. This worked out down here well too. I went through the past with the heat, and then I came back with the aquaphor and brushed it in. It worked really well. I feel like that's going to work here too. Back to that exploration stuff. I don't know. You guys are vibing on what I'm saying? The True 5 gum. Yeah, the tank top is my art as well. The camera's not on it right now, but it will be in a second. I drew this monkey. It's actually on the wall behind me. I don't think you can see it on TikTok though. But if you go to the profile, you can see it. You can buy the tank top. I personally really like the sweatshirt. The white sweatshirt, the white hoodie with Rage, the monkey on it, is really my favorite. I've got it in the other room, and I would show you, but my hands are all dirty. And I don't want to mess it up because I like it. Yeah, I've got prints of stuff, 2D art, and then a couple t-shirts, tank tops, and hoodies. But if you like something that I did and you want it on a t-shirt or whatever, just let me know. I just have to set it up on Printful. If you're like, oh yeah, I like that as a something or another, like that as a sweatshirt, I'll set that up for you. Just because like I said, my definition of art is not what I'm doing. My definition of art is what happens in the mind of the observer, that conception spark. And so I want to get it out there. I want you guys to feel like you guys are half of the art by observing it. So, what kind of clay? This is plastilina. It's an oil-based clay. That's why I can heat it up with the blowtorch and it gets gooey, and why I can push it around with this aquaphor on a brush, because it's oil based, so it just gets gooey. What's cool about the aquaphor is that it gets a little bit gooey, like you can see, and I can push it around, but it actually absorbs into the clay, so it still hardens up. So like her butt, her legs and butt, I went over with aquaphor to smooth them out, but they're pretty hard down there. Kind of hear. If you can hear that, it's still hard. It doesn't dry. Some of the clay in this sculpture is literally 20 years old. I found it in a toolbox. And I'm like, I'm gonna do a sculpture with that. So you can use it pretty indefinitely. Stays active with heat and plasticity, move it around. So when I'm done, which is probably your next question, what am I going to do? I will cast it and mold it as a resin, as an alloy, like a bronze. again, getting back to those skills that I learned 20, 30 years ago, but I've been working digitally. So it's like I said, it's like an old friend, someone I used to know. In this case, thankful for it. The combination of the aquaphor and the heat does interesting stuff. I like it. I didn't do that 20 years ago, so that's new. that's new exploration. Do I teach? Not pupils traditionally. I'm definitely willing to share, just like what I'm doing right now. I haven't done any organized teaching, although I probably won't, but along that vein, I'm opening up a gallery studio nightclub here in Kansas City in about 6 months, and I'll have definitely have figurative sessions there, and probably open it up to people if they're in the area and want to come. So if you're in the Kansas City area, I will likely hold figurative sessions, not necessarily classes, but sessions. And honestly, I'll probably stream them. So you guys will still have access even if you're not local. If you're into that. Actually, I'd like feedback if you're into that. That sounds interesting to you. Tell me about it. Elsewhere on location, I don't know. That could be cool. I don't know what location. I might be more interested in the location. What location are you talking about? Prague? Venice? Florence, perhaps? Well, thank you, Poet Smile. I mean, I'm open to anything. I'm definitely at a stage in life where I'm like, exploratory, like I keep saying that word. I'm open to what life brings me, I guess. One way to put it. Haunted Victorian Mansion in Allegheny Mountains? Wow. Okay, I'm gonna admit a bit of ignorance. I don't know where that is. Allegheny Mountains. Is that Appalachian? Is that US? Or is that, where is that? Because you got my attention. You had me at hello on that one. I might even put effort into making a syllabus for that. My sister is actually the art teacher. Literally, that's her profession. She teaches. mini LED and lights in the eyes. I think it's safe to say that I will never install mini LED lights in the eyes. I don't think they'll happen. I don't. Not going to say it's a bad idea, but you'd have to buy one of the resins and do it yourself. Don't think that's my jam. U.S. border of New York and Pennsylvania. So yeah, Appalachian. Wow, I went to college in New York. I haven't been back there very much. It sounds great, yeah. You send me a DM, we can talk about it. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's something, some synergy or something. Something we could do that'd be cool. Maybe we could stream that. I don't know. Figure out what works. Thank you. Just slop it on there thick. Like I said, over time it actually absorbs in, so it does go away. It just feels funny slopping a big old glob of Aquaphor on your sculpture. Jessica Lark. Well, again, I am remiss because I don't have the Discord set up, because I would love, Jessica, for you to be able to post your stuff right now and we could look at it. That'd be cool. And I haven't done that, so we can't. But you can DM me anything. That'd be cool. Or whatever you do. I don't know. What do you do, Jessica? Maybe you're a model. I don't know. Thank you, Carol. Cosmic Arts. Nice. You know, I cheated today on a project. I used some AI. But it was professional. It was for some visual effects. And I was a little surprised how well it worked. I was surprised. I was putting some birds in the background of a shot. And I painted some stills of birds and I put it into runway. Literally said bird chirping, looking around. And it made a bird chirping, looking around out of my drawing, out of my painting. And saved me a shit ton of time. Like, okay, well, I think for commercial art like that, it is not, for a tiny ass little bird in the background, I am not going to beat myself up over that. Do I think AI will take over a lot of art? So that's the conjecture right now. I actually had someone approach me the other day about a startup, you know, wanting to make a startup with AI and visual effects for movies. I'll tell you the reality of the situation is that every single director you work with will ask things like, can you move the light 5 degrees to the left? Can you change that red thing to a blue thing? Can you do this? Can you do that? And you absolutely just can't do that with AI at this juncture. So, AI definitely could be a good tool for visual effects, but it has to be written from the ground up to be a visual effects tool, which it currently isn't. People are doing some things where they're connecting like Comfy UI to Nuke, which is a compositing software used for visual effects. But, you have to really understand what generative AI is, and when you do, you're kind of like, It's a little underwhelming, honestly, when you do understand it. And at the same time, it's amazing what it can do with what it is. You're like, oh my God, just that it's producing, like I just said, I needed birds today and made birds. Saved me a lot of time. So I'm kind of, I guess I'm on both sides of the fence on that one. I, in the beginning of my career, regarded visual effects as an art form. And I got to meet Harryhausen once. I don't know if you know who he is, but he's like one of the forefathers. And it was a big deal to me, And I felt like I was at, height, maybe not the height, but I was at a hot level of my career at the time. And I viewed what I did as an art form. I viewed myself as being the same lineage of like Beau. And the truth is it's a business, and so it's run by producers and accountants. And that's the bottom line. And Beau is a burned out relic of a human being because of it. So the people I'm talking about, Phil Tilbert, my idols, they're burned out relics, right? Because they viewed a business as an art form. So, you kind of have to, at some point, pick up your toys, decide who you're going to be. And for me, I've got my hands in clay. That's who I am. I'm this guy. Yeah, my experience as an artist with AI is that it's not up. Well, I'm going to answer not as an artist. I'm going to answer as a production artist. Is that it's not functional, like for the reasons I just said. I just had a director ask me if I could use AI, and then they started asking me these really granular changes, which inevitably they will, because it's generating a really obtuse attitude of like, oh, well, if AI did that, it can do anything. And it can't. It can only do what it's trained on, and it can only do it in a certain way, right? So directors will inevitably ask for, inevitably meaning immediately ask for things that the model isn't trained for. At the current juncture. So, I think it's the thing is, if you use the word never, or you use exclusive statements like, oh, it can do this or it can't do that, all you're really doing is literally, as a user, as an artist, if you say, oh, it can do this but it can't do this, you're literally defining the algorithm that's needed, so someone like yourself can then go write that algorithm. So saying, oh, AI can do this but it can't do this, is literally just feeding the algorithm. You're telling the developers what it needs to do. So it's a hilarious feedback loop that's filled with, the complexity, human complexities of egos and whatnot. I've divorced myself with emotional, artistic attachment to that work. That's why I'm doing this. AI can't do this per se, because what we're doing is social. You're looking at me, I'm talking to you, this is a social interaction, people are connecting with the work based on watching me make it and interacting with me. So this is a human-to-human connection. So that, by definition, is something AI can't do, unless you want to start pretending that there's going to be like an AI avatar doing what I'm doing and blah, blah, blah. But that's a conversation that's not interesting to me. Because that's literally why I'm doing what I'm doing. One is it's tactile, it's clay, it's physical. And at this point, it would be at least a massive challenge to try to do this in AI. And two, it's social dynamic. It's person to person, which again is, by definition, something AI can't fill. It's person to person. But I was pushed in this direction because of what was happening in AI. It's like, yeah, it's just made all those things, all those jobs I didn't like doing, just got incredibly less interesting. Got a whole lot less interesting. I mean, who the hell really wants to sit around and do roto on a person walking in the background? Nobody wants to do that. That is a really good job for AI. Yes. Yes, I support that entirely. But that's going to put people out of business, but out of work. However, that was already a highly commoditized industry, mostly sent to third world countries with low pay rates and things like that. It was already disgusting. It was already dominated by the accountants who were destroying, any art form possibility within it. But I would say that the energy around AI is the real problem. It's creating this dynamic where directors are saying to people, oh, could you do that with AI? And they're just, because it's so mysterious and unknown, they're like, oh, we can just do that with AI, right? Okay. That being said, I used Runway today and got a shot done that would have taken me days to do otherwise. The whole time I'm looking forward to the day ending so I can be doing this right now with you guys. Because I no longer view visual effects as my art form. Thank you. Pimentel. But you get what I'm saying, that what I'm doing right now with you, this is part of the social experiment, for me anyway. It's like we're creating art together, right? This isn't art in an isolated form. Art, especially two-dimensional art in an isolated environment, is something that's under attack by AI. It's like, oh, is that AI? Is it real? Who knows? Because isolated, you did it by yourself, and then 2D is always the easiest thing to do in AI. How long is this taking me? Someone the other day asked that question, and then I told them to look at YouTube, and they went back, and apparently I started this on January 7th. A lot of intermittent breaks in there. I got sick, a few hours here, a few hours there, not consistent, but I think my hours are probably getting up there. I'm probably at like 60 hours all in, if I had to guess, on this lady. Yeah, oh, Ronnie is in here. Hello, sir. I think you actually are the one that looked it up. You're the one that went back and looked at the YouTube to come with that, aren't you? What's my art background? Well, I went to art school I went to art school in Brooklyn at Pratt Institute in, I'm trying to think, 94? I studied anatomy extensively, a lot of figure drawing, and some sculpture. But my degree was in computer graphics because I wanted to go work on movies, which I did. So I left Brooklyn in '98 and moved to a small town north of LA and worked for a small company up there in Santa Maria, California. My first movie was The Crow 3. Made a digital crow for that, been making a lot of birds in my career. Wow, that melted. It's cool though. And was worked there for a year, then moved down to LA, worked at Digital Domain. Worked with James Brown on something called the Experience the Music Project up in Seattle, where I made a digital James Brown. I sculpted that. Actually. So that's where when I heavily went from practical to digital. As far as human sculpting, it's probably my first biggest human project. And then went from there to Sony, where I worked on Harry Potter, the first Harry Potter. And I sculpted the troll and centaur faces. All the different facial expressions they made. Where's that bigger brush? There it is. And Stuart Little 2. Harry Potter, Stuart Little 2. I've been working digital most of my life and career. Hello, Bird in Paradise. Yeah, that would have been a long time ago. You probably missed it. Maybe it's still up. I have no idea. Is that still up? The Experience Imagery Project at the museum there in Seattle? Digital James Brown. We did that back in 99, 2000. Long time ago. Yeah, I think that's the biggest responding to the anatomy response there from me loving now. It's probably the biggest thing I got out of art school in New York is I got to dissect humans at Columbia Medical School. I was the assistant to the anatomist at school for a while. So I got that experience, a lot of hands-on. But anatomy is like art, it's an ongoing. You never know it. You never know anatomy. There is burning flesh. We've done here burning flesh. Get it hot and melt it. Push it around. All gooey. Burn the living fuck. Oh yeah, that's gonna blister up. Burn the fuck out of my finger.
I smell flesh.
It's probably me. Yeah, you're probably not smelling the clay. You're smelling me. It's true. Burn the living tart out of my fingers. That was like an hour ago. Well, that burning flesh smell will be gone by now, wouldn't it? I've been on that many crime scenes, I wouldn't know. Somebody was just on the stream asking me if I would go to a plantation, I think, or a Victorian house on the border of New York and Pennsylvania and run a group or something. I'm like, I'm open to it, DM me. Is that the missus? It is. So Roni is he's a new regular. He's definitely heard your voice before. Yes, the missus is off camera and she's very camera shy. I don't know what she's afraid of. Clark just walked in here earlier to get a permission slip signed. He's like, are you streaming? I'm like, yeah. Oh, okay, can you sign this? Clark gives no poops. Okay, dude. Am I using ref? I think in the beginning I had a couple of naked girl pictures I was looking at for a little bit of ref. I think I got inspired by one. Basically a girl sitting with her legs crossed kind of inspired me compositionally. But no, I haven't been looking at ref in a long time. I've got an eagle over here that I brought up to kind of get my head going that direction. I haven't modeled a bird head in a minute, although, like I said, I had a lot of experience modeling birds for various movies. So no, there's not a lot of reference in this. I think I was telling somebody the other day, asked me, and I was telling them that I looked a little bit at that Ferguson actress that is in Dune for the face. Not a lot though, but just kind of the structure. She looks a lot like my wife, to be honest with you. So I think it's just kind of bringing that element in because of an influence that I see every day. The one that won't come on camera. Yeah, this really works. This working with the melted clay and then working back on top of it with the aquaphor and the brush is a technique that's really working for me. Anybody's out there working at home and emulating, that's the way to go. Do that. Get the basic mass structures, get hot, move it around. I mean, if you want this kind of look, like I have on the shadow, which is the base, and these feathers. Well, thank you. Yeah, I did put quite a bit of thought, to be honest with you. I can't claim like some form of inspiration like it just came to me. I put quite a bit of like, I kind of sat and meditated / drank regarding the pose and composition. I wanted to look, I've still got trauma from my like three-dimensional design teacher in art school. I wanted it to be interesting from every angle. You know, I wanted it to work no matter how you were looking at it. Like right now, the camera angle you're looking at, that's pretty stellar, right? It's pretty cool. It's a pretty good angle. But I wanted to work from all angles. I haven't gone back over like I melted it and then aquaphor brushed it, and then I haven't gone back and tried to see what happens when I heat it up again. I'm a little trepidatious because I think the aquaphor is probably flammable. End up setting my eyebrows on fire. I love that you picked up the knees as big a fan of. Thank you. I mean, the knees are extremely complex, right? You got the head of the tibia, you got the fibula coming in there. You got patella floating over it. You got the whole head of the femur down there, and then you got a whole lot of ligaments connecting it all together, creating the base mass, and then you've got a series of musculature coming in from a variety of directions. So yeah, you're right. The knee is a super complex area. So thank you. Appreciate that. Nice. Well, I appreciate that. Like, I'll talk about anything. I'm not necessarily a trained pedagogue, teacher. But I'll talk about anything. Anything you want to talk about. You know, if you're like interested in something or curious or want to ask questions on, we'll answer. I'll get into it with you. I think what I'm really enjoying, honestly, about the bird and the hair and the drapery is, oh my God, I hate this right here. I just looked down and saw part of the drapery that looked like repetitive lines, and I just, no, hell no. Let's do something about that. What was I just saying? Oh, what I'm really enjoying about the drapery, the hair, and the bird is that it's not constrained by, say, like anatomy. It's literally just abstraction. So there's a lot of freedom, but it's still representative. Exactly, right? Thank you. Me love now. Okay, I finally figured out what your name was. Yeah, a few hours of work on spot. A little bit. A little bit. I think I want to put that in there. Tension. Like pulling heavy stuff. Oh, absolutely. Are you the one that said you were more of a draftsman? You like to draw? Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Trying to think. Who's a great example of that, right? Heinrich. Did Heinrich Clay? Did a lot of drawings that inspired Disney. He was really good with weight. Did a lot of pen and ink doodles that were really good with weight. Grimes, sure. Yeah. Yeah, so like if you're familiar with Fantasia, like the crocodiles and the hippos, that was actually all a ripoff of old Clay. He literally did drawings of that. They just used that for inspiration. But more than that, like I would say they definitely, were emulating him in their gesture drawings. Thank you. Marcia. I'm watching for days. How long does a sculpture normally take? Thank you. I don't know if there is such a thing as normal. I've been working on this for like a month and a half or something. And off and on, a few hours here and there. I think I'm probably up to like 60 hours or something like that. I'm not in a hurry. Like I'm spending time talking to you guys and reading and thinking about it. Sometimes I just sit and look at it, right? Like I'm not in a hurry at all. I'm enjoying the social experience. I'm appreciating social dynamic of being creative with you guys, for sure. Like Roni online here said some stuff that I used. This is timing me out. So you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a quick break, and I'll be back in like 1 minute. I'm gonna sign off and I'll be back in 1 minute if you guys wanna come back. Love to see you. All right, I'm back. Let's see what happens. Good evening again. Hi. Thanks for joining. Hi, everybody. Thanks for coming back or coming anew. Second round for the night. Let's try this again. smooth. Thank you. And what do you guys think? On this fine Monday evening, we just be chilling. But hop out and eat. Appreciate you. Oh yeah, thank you for coming. Me love now. Thanks for coming. I appreciate you. Have a good meal. Get some sustenance. Come back tomorrow night. I'll be here. Generally, I'm pretty good about Monday through Thursday nights showing up. Thank you. Thank you. Definitely appreciate you guys showing up, giving input. Part of the reason I'm doing this is that getting input, feedback. It's true. how my camera setup works. Well, free bird for life. You tell me. Do you think this is a recording? Do you think I am telepathic? And I simply knew you were going to type that and pre-recorded it? This could be the case. Pre-recorded, he says. Well, I guess from the inevitable destiny point of view, this has all happened before. Sure. Thank you. No, I wasn't giving you a hard time. That's fine. Just, I believe in Australia they call it taking a piss. That's some people when I lived in Tokyo from Australia who loved that phrase. I was just taking a piss. A little booze, a little art, a few chuckles. Yeah, what else you want from your evening? I look forward to every day, honestly. Look forward to the end of the day and doing whatever it is we're doing. This. Taking the piss, in the Australian sense. Hand of fate. That's exactly right. Oh yes, Roni's paying attention. He's still there, paying attention. Yes, hand of fate is what I'm calling this. If you take this time to take a step back and think, like, what's the next move? Probably that flame on her arm is the next move. It's probably the part I haven't done and hate the most and want to do the least. Well, I guess it's whatever kind of bird works for you. Your personal story. For me, it's a phoenix. I think I just literally patted her to comfort her as if I just hurt her. I might be losing my shit. Thank you. How much are you gonna sell this for? My goodness, everything's for sale. Well, to be transparent with that, my opinion is, my view on it is that art happens in the moment of conception in the eye of the beholder. So for me, I want to get it out there, so I actually do want to sell it. So I'm not trying to mock the idea of selling it. I want to sell it. I would like for it to exist out there. I will make casts of this. There'll be more than one. I will probably make one that's more affordable, like I was saying, because I want people to be able to buy it. There'll be a resin, and then I will make a alloy, like bronze. $12 million. Exactly. Somebody the other day approached me on instant messenger, DM here on TikTok, wanting to buy NFTs of my work. It'd be funny if they're on right now. Banana with duct tape. I believe you're making reference to another piece of art. Banana with duct tape. There we go. I like some of that shape happening there. We'll get there. Get to making this feel like flame too. Thank you, Carissa. I love you. Carissa. Dated a girl in college named Carissa. You don't happen to live in... You didn't happen to go to Pratt Institute in Brooklyn, did you? Nope. Not me. Okay. Well, that's good to know. Jesus Christ loves you. Wow. From a person who goes by the name Martyr, that's a bold statement. That's a lot better than saying Jesus hates you. That's for sure. Which I have wondered a few times. Does Jesus hate me? He might. Jesus Christ loves my work. Wow. Well, that is. But I would assume he's busy, so. Maybe not. I mean, what's he doing nowadays? I don't know. How's he filling his days? He's not prophesizing. Not dictating any books. All over the place. Of Paul Hollywood. I don't know. I actually don't know who Paul Hollywood is, so you lost me on that one. Modern Diana. Color. No, I will not be adding color. Not specifically, no. Not a big fan of colored sculpture. I prefer it to be about the shape and the form, so just letting it be what it's going to be in gray. I'm not totally against like patinas. I've learned with old age to never say never, but highly unlikely that I'll indulge in color with this. I mean, if you look at some of my paintings or whatever, there's some color. Although color is not really my friend, not Mr. Color. Love color. Don't know that I'm the most skilled at it. I've got some color in some of my drawings and paintings you can see online if you want to. It's kind of looking like flame on our arms. What do you guys think? Does that look like the bird is made of flame and the flame is growing down our arms? What do you think? I'm calling it the hand of fate. Well, I love you guys' feedback. It made me feel good about myself. In about 6 months, I will be streaming from the new gallery nightclub that we're making here. We'll see how it turns out, but probably 4 nights a week I'll probably be streaming from the club we're baking. And then the other nights we'll have like bands and stuff. Triple moon goddess apothecary, yes. I don't know what any of that means, but it was funny. She holding a phoenix? Yes. Oh, that was a response to that. Yes, she's holding to be crass about it, yes. Let's just say it's a phoenix. I mean, I'm open to interpretation. Somebody earlier was saying, is that an eagle? And I'm like, dude, I mean, maybe it is an eagle for you. But to answer your question, for me, the intention is I'm not going to be like Ridley Scott and Blade Runner and keep you guys guessing for 20 years. No. The intention is for me for this to be a phoenix. Yeah, like that's why I'm slow to like talk smack about painted sculpture, because there have been people who do it well. I mean, I came from the movie business where it was part of the job was to do, you know, for the practical guys, the makeup guys, things like that, to do that. So I'm not going to talk smack about it, but, you know, classically speaking, I'm much more of from the Michelangelo camp, where he said that that paintings were trying to look like sculptures, but if you paint a sculpture, it looks terrible. Like I'm kind of from that camp, while still recognizing that some people do amazing work. Contrary to that, it's not my camp. Thank you, Elliot. Let's see what happens when we get the claw hot. Let's just get the claw hot and see what happens. Try not to set anything on fire, including me. Oh, lack of a better answer, yes, this is sculpting with jazz music. You got a problem with that? Whoa, I just made a mess. Okay, maybe that didn't work. I'm gonna have to rebuild that claw. That didn't work like I thought it would. Okay, we'll come back. Let that harden up again. It's literally falling off the armature. Okay. All right. Oh yeah, look at that. That didn't work. It's all good. What is something like this? $1 million. Or a pack of bubblegum, depending on what day of the week it is. It actually hardens pretty fast. It's already starting to harden. The part I had totally gooey just a second ago is already hardening up. So it's really not that big a deal. And it's fine. It's just clay. So what did I melted the living hell out of it? Thank you. Aura. 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 You're not Aurora, are you? Aurora? Aura? Aurora? Oro? Are you Aurora from Tokyo? Are you afraid to answer? JoJo reference. No. I lived in Tokyo for a year and a half. And while I was there, I met a girl named Aurora. She was a model for drawing. She was an art model. But her day job was that she was actually an anime artist. And she used to come to my Twitch. Actually, there are people over on Twitch right now. Hello, Twitch. Sorry. Star Phoenix over on Twitch just said hello. Anyway, Aurora in Tokyo. She would show up on my Twitch there for a while. I guess that's not you. Anyway, so yeah, she's an anime artist that I met and model in Tokyo. And when I left Tokyo, I gave her most of my stuff. She got my dryer. No, I didn't have a dryer. I gave her my washer. And I don't know what all I gave her. A bunch of stuff. Refrigerator, I think. I think she took the refrigerator. I don't know. Living in Tokyo is a whole deal. Imagine living like in your freshman year of college, but like times 10. It is, Jesus Christ, whole deal. Medusa sculpture, hello. So I have a Medusa drawing. If you go to my profile, you can see the drawing I did of Medusa. It's on the wall right here, but you can't see it, I don't think, because of the camera angle. But yeah, actually, I'd like to hear your opinion. If you want to check out the profile, tell me what you think of the Medusa painting, if you will. Triple Moon Goddess, I expect. Yes, good. Be right back. Fantastic. I expect a report. Well, Roni, you've been part of the process, so I would assume it would have a special place in your heart. You've actually given suggestions that have been incorporated into the final. So yeah, absolutely, makes sense. Which actually, to earlier conversation with the guy, the AI guy, when I was talking about there's a factor here that, you know, AI kind of pushed me towards, which is this socio-dynamic. Like we're interrelating socially, right? You don't have a relationship with AI. Right? We are relating. We are humans relating. So that's one unique thing about this that's awesome. Yes, winning. That is one way I'm going to do this. So I'm going to cast it. I'm going to mold it. Sorry, I'm going to mold it, silicone, brush it on, make a fiberglass shell around that, and then I'll cast this in resin just to make sure it worked. Then I will cast it in wax, as you're suggesting, and make a plaster cast, pour some alloy in there, break it off. Well, thank you, Ronnie. This claw is off. I need to get reference for this claw, which is funny how many claws I've modeled in my life, and I'm just not even gonna bother with it right now. I'm gonna get some reference and come back to it. Yeah, so the I will make a plaster cast for the lost wax process, because then you can heat it. Plaster doesn't melt, wax does. But I'll make a silicone and fiberglass in order to cast the wax. Or I might completely freaking cheat, 3D scan it and print it in wax. It's also on my mind. I don't have any sculptures in Laguna Beach. I've been to Laguna Beach. I have a relative that lives there. Which sculptures are you thinking of? I have to go kill my competition. I tried to do a dragon and the wings fell off. I had to start all over again. Armature, armature, armature. I'm gonna give you a little diatribe right now. This young lady is made of steel. That is 5/16 steel. All three. Bolted into the table here at her toe, up and around her entire skeleton is made of 5/16 steel. All of it, arm, everything. Another connection point here. So there's 2 points where steel is bolted into this table, in the cloth and in her toe. And then I have steel armature wrapped around that for the details like hands and fingers. Armature. Yeah, I'll do a 3D scan probably. That's kind of my professional go-to. Anyways, I'll do a 3D scan before I start this process. Just to have, yeah. Okay, what's next? I don't think I'm going to work on the claw because I think I'm going to pull reference for that before I get into it. I'm not really, I've spent my whole career dealing with deadlines and timelines, so I'm not focused on timelines. That being said, I've been working on this since the early January, a few hours here and there. I doubt I'm working on this past, what month did we just start? March? Yeah. I don't think there's any way I'm working on this past March. Sometime in the month of March, I'll be done with this. Well, the sculpting part. Then we'll get into the casting. I might do both. I might start another sculpture in the stream and get started on another casting. So I might do both. Yeah, I'm taking my time, honestly. I'm like taking a step back. I'm not working like I'm producing commercial art for a movie or something. I'm just like taking my time. Like, what do I want to see? What do I want to do? Like what comes next? You probably hear me say that quite a bit. What does come next? Right? Quote old Gladiator. What happens in life here goes in eternity. I mean, this thing could be around for frickin' ever. All of my life, anyway. I'll be looking at this thing for the rest of my frickin' life. Just like, I want to explore it. I want to feel like this relationship was complete when it's over. That makes sense. Oh my God, I just had a thought. Speaking of, I just literally had a thought. It was something I wanted to do different, which I hadn't had before. Hey, what's up, Beach Walks? How you doing? What caused me to get back into sculpting? Honestly, it's because I found a bunch of clay in this toolbox over here, and I thought, holy crap, I haven't done that in forever. Literally, that's the answer. So here we are. I think, honestly, my core, like, who am I as an artist? It is a sculptor. Like, me not sculpting is me pretending to be somebody else. That I'm not. I've done a lot of things. The last big professional job I did, I was the director of user experience for Toyota's autonomous vehicles in Tokyo. And that was not me. I was intellectually stimulated by it. I thought it was interesting. I liked it. But I got into it and was like, wow, these are people who don't share my values. And I don't want to be around them. How many hours? I'm gonna say in the low 60s. If I had to guess, Pluto, how many hours? Low 60s. That's my guess. Oh, Roni. Well, see, now you know all my, well, no, you don't know all my secrets. You know some of my secrets. But you're right, I haven't gone into Russia tonight. That's because I have been remiss in my alcoholic consumption. It takes at least a bottle of wine to get me to talk about my time in Moscow. Whole other story. Another life. I'd hate to get old and not have stories, right? Let's just say I earned the white hair. Didn't come for free. Father-in-law used to say that. I think his favorite thing was to come hang out with me while I was at the kids' soccer, and I'd tell him stories. He'd be like, "You just need to write this down." And it's cool, you know. It's cool that to think that you've done something other people think are interesting. My son, honestly, to be honest, my son said that to me not very long ago. He said, "Dad, you've had a really interesting life," and it was. I don't think he intended to, but the kid literally made me cry. Like, I mean, obviously, your relationship with your child is a lot of projection. But for me, you know, as a kid growing up, the one thing I wanted was an interesting life. So it was almost like I was hearing myself say it, my own child, myself as a child say to me, "Hey man, you have had an interesting life." Being a parent is a hell of a thing. Complex. Changes constantly. I have a very adult relationship with my mother right now. Have had for a while. I think we were drinking buddies for a while, kind of thing. And you know, it's different now. That's when I lived in LA, so she'd come out. I think she was on vacation from herself when she would come to LA, so we'd hang out and drink, laugh. Now I'm back home in her world. I don't think she's on vacation from herself when she's around me anymore. I do apologize if you're still there, Star Phoenix. It's actually my myopia that's the problem. I've got the feed so far away I have to lean in. I need to, I don't know, wear glasses or something. Anyway. Yeah, so I was 19 when I left here the first time and went to New York. Your age. Okay, what do we do now? Where are we? What's the story? What's the score? Test to a computer. It is on a computer monitor. It's just too friggin' far from me. I think my eyes have degraded in the last few months. So, here's a story. Does everybody want Beau's story time? Are you listening, Roni? Are you ready? Well, I'll give you a story. So, 2000 and, what year is this? Jesus Christ, I don't even know. 2010 or 11. And I had just found out that my partner had embezzled about $2 million from me. And I just left a lawyer's office where he told me that I was going to be going to the FBI because they were inquiring what I was doing in Moscow and wanted to know about my partner. And on the drive home on the 405 up over the hill, driving fast as people do when there's no traffic, I realized I could not see the car in front of me. In fact, I could not see at all. I literally went blind while driving my car very fast down the highway in Los Angeles. And I went to the doctor and it was stress. I had stress, had apparently no hearing that I was going to be interrogated by the FBI over my Russian partner who had stolen $2 million from me. Caused my edema to swell, my retina to swell. And now I'm fucking blind for about 3 days. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm still actually blind in the right eye. only on the fovea, meaning the center, which is the most important part. So I can't read out of my right eye anymore. Blind as fuck when I'm right-eye dominant. So that sucks. My left eye, it did clear up, but I'm right-eye dominant. So, kind of sucks. Start seeing cars not there. Nice. I couldn't see the cars. Yeah, so, you know, having an interesting life isn't always fun. Yeah. Having an interesting life can make you think about how people live that don't have interesting lives, and about the choices you've made. And at the end of the day, would you do them different if you went back? And for me, honestly, the answer is no. I mean, I owned a software company in Moscow. I flew to Moscow, signed a deal in the Kremlin with the Russian government-backed bank to fund my ideas, and I did it. You know, this is back when we thought of Russia as like the, you know, the edgy version of Europe, which, you know, is not the current politics. I'm just saying you can't judge my choices based on today's dynamic. You know, I'd say back then, Russia was much more European. So yeah, I've had an interesting life, and it's also been, it's had its whatever it is. It's been a thing. Yeah. Let's get back to the real question. What clay do I use? It's oil-based plastilina clay. Much more important question. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, everything I'm doing is focused on reinvention, rebirth. You know, you can't get there without having had some life. You know, a person who hasn't had a life experience, what do they have to rebirth from? Which isn't necessarily a matter of fact, you know, a product of time. It's part of experience. You could have experience as a young person. You might have to have some years to get there. I call it Hand of Fate. And who is she? Well, I mean, this is a manufactured effigy of a female figure that I came up with. You know, it is inspired. She looks a lot like my wife in a variety of ways. But no, this is no specific character. This is just literally I think there's a reason that I chose the feminine form. You know, this wasn't a masculine form, this is a feminine form. Women give birth, women are. They're also very sultry with the feminine shapes. Like this, I think this was calculated to be feminine. They're a female character or representative of the feminine, to speak in the Jungian terminology. But it's not a specific character from mythology per se. Hand of Fate, exactly. Yeah, exactly, Jojo. Soul Star Moonlight. She is me. Oh, is that because you associate with the story I told, or because you look like this? If so, do you just wear a scarf when you out at night? Uh-oh, I'm running out of wine. I guess that's why I got into Russia stories. Oh, well, I'm liking where we've gone tonight for the most part. Something's not right there. Something I don't like right there. What am I going to do about that? Let's do something about that. They are unhinged. Yeah, I don't have any hinged stories in Russia. They were all crazy. As an American, anyway, you definitely come out of Russia going, oh, okay, so that's reality. There was a girl I spent an afternoon with. She was I've talked about her before. She's the one I went to the nightclub with. She worked for a potential investor into our company. Very lovely, very charming, very sophisticated. And we spent the afternoon just shopping and whatnot. I got out of her car and I opened the back door to grab something I had purchased. I can't recall what it is. And I picked up a bag and I looked inside and it was just a bag filled with money. She just had a bag filled with money in her back seat. And I said, "Oh, I think this one's yours." Put it back. and got my little souvenir trinket I had purchased that was in the other bag. Oh, I think this one's yours. I don't think that was her bag of money. Her mother was an interesting, I don't know, I never met her mother, but I think she was an interesting, her father was in the Communist Party, and I think when the wall fell and communism fell, I think her father couldn't survive in his previous role, but her mother became, I think, a capitalist and owned a bunch of real estate in Moscow. So I think she came from a lot of money. I think her father had a lot of political background, but her mother had a lot of money, which wasn't that uncommon in Moscow. People that could survive on one infrastructure but couldn't survive on another. You were not messing with that, exactly. I'm like, I don't think I want to mess with this bag of rubles right now. I'm gonna put this bag of rubles back where I found it. It is a different kind of experience when you go into a business meeting and the people you're meeting with have pictures of them shaking hands with Putin. And this is, again, 2008. I'm like, huh, all right, this is just my reality today. I'm just doing business with this guy with a picture of him hanging out with Putin. Okay. That's my Tuesday. Yeah, again, you guys got a bottle of wine on me and I'm talking about Russia again. Well, dude, thank you, Ronnie, for showing up. You know, it's kind of a miracle. I haven't been flagged for sexual content all night. It's one of TikTok's favorite things to do is claim that I'm a dirty person. Because my sculpture has boobies. Little gray clay boobies. Shh. Don't give them ideas, exactly. Don't tell TikTok about the boobies. Shh. TikTok is listening. there was Russian president, the one, the red. Oh, you're talking about Gorbachev. Old Gorby. Old Gorbis. Of course, they all have a shit ton of look-alike stand-ins, so you never know anymore. I'm sure some of those guys had pictures with Putin. It wasn't actually Putin, it was probably his stand-in. The question is Putin still alive? Or is it all just stand-ins? That's what would make all of this art. Is that Putin died 3 years ago or something. That would make this all truly art. What do you think old Steven Seagal's doing over there nowadays? I wonder what his random Tuesday looks like. Okay, all right, what should we do now? I feel like I've pontificated or something a bit. Okay, thank you. That was lovely. Well, I mean, talk about being an outsider. You know, I mean, honestly, I kind of saw the current circumstances coming. You know, like we all acted like back then. This is 15 years ago. We all acted like Russia was just, you know, the edgy version of Europe. But that being said, I remember I was on top of a building called Kotelnicheskaya, which is just an apartment building, one of the seven sisters that Stalin built. And I was on the phone. This is before the iPhones. I was on my BlackBerry. And speaking English, of course. And I remember a woman looked out her window at me and scowled. And I realized this woman, she was an older woman, she was very old, you know, whatever. She was old. And it's like, okay, this woman grew up in Cold War. And she now has someone speaking English walking around the roof of her apartment building. Because I was there doing visual effects, scanning the building, blah, blah, blah. And it hit me like, wow, it's still Cold War for her. And there's literally an American invading her country. So there was that side of it. But then there was also just the like free-for-all, which was the westernization economically of Russia that was going on as well. So it was a very dynamic environment for sure. To be in Moscow in 2007, 8, 9, 10. That's when I was there. It was very dynamic. Very, you know, every situation was different. You either deal with old world or new world on a regular basis. I'm here bedazzling a spray paint can. Okay, now I definitely wish I had the Discord up. I want to see what you do with spray paint because I'm a little envious of spray paint artists. I've never really done it, but when men make sculptures of women, I don't know what that means. Was that derogatory? I don't even know. I guess you maybe don't like it? Yeah. You're not wrong. It's a man making a sculpture of a woman. So you're not speaking erroneously. It sounds a bit judgmentally. But I'm projecting a lot. I don't actually know what you're saying. Feeling a bit lost at the moment. Does she have fingers and toenails? No, I have not sculpted fingers and toenails. This is definitely too rough at this stage for that. She also doesn't have eyeballs. I'm literally just enjoying the shadow of the lids, creating the shape of the eyes. No, this is all very, like, I don't want to say impressionistic, but loose. I'm calling it Hand of Fate. No, thank you, Jennifer. I haven't worked with any foundries. I haven't. I probably should. I probably should finish this and hand it off to a foundry with some skilled artisans and say, make this for me out of alloy as opposed to doing it myself. Thank you, JoJo. And by the way, is JoJo a reference to the anime JoJo? Is that what you're doing? Are you JoJo? Were you the person who said it earlier that I was making a JoJo reference? Thank you, Jeannie Jones. You guys are coming in at a bad time because I really need to take a quick break. So I guess I can take a quick break and see how many of you are left when I come back. Wow, Pamela, well, keep coming. Oh, Joanne. All right, so that's your old name. All right, I don't know if you guys want to hang out for like 30 seconds. I'll be back. All right, how many of you are so committed that you hung out? Oh my goodness, almost everybody stayed. Oh, Little Diamond, I love your question. She is definitely smiling. Let's see if I can get this spun around here for you. She's definitely smiling, but it's a sardonic, pleasant. Oh, spin it around here for you again. Yeah, definitely smiling. She's definitely smiling. But I like to think it's a complex facial expression. Estonia, New York? Yeah, sure, maybe. I would say that she's smiling at, smiling at fate. What is it? What's that cliche? I can't think of it. Anyway, she's smiling at her own fate, right? She's, in essence, smiling at her own death. What does the phoenix represent? But death and rebirth. But in her case, if you're noticing, she's holding the knife. So the point is, narratively, that she's going to sacrifice her own phoenix. She's going to kill her phoenix. So the phoenix is coming in looking rather, aggressive and foreboding. She's accepting it in a smiling, sardonic, complicit way. But the bottom line is that she's going to sacrifice the phoenix herself, bringing about her own manifestation, her own reinvention, her own reincarnation. Everything I do, and I don't really mean to, but everything I do ends up becoming about self-actualization. That's what this piece is about, for me. Yeah, definitely a smile more on one side than the other. You're right. Well, I mean, there's no such thing as they both. It's her phoenix. So there's only one. There's only one figure in this sculpture, if you will. Lack of putting it, yeah. There's one figure. The bird is landing in her hand, exactly. This is her fate. But she's choosing it. You know, as a psychologist I once heard talking about suicide, it was really good. A person who suicides generally isn't, at least leading up to that moment, not wanting to die. They're wanting to become anew. And, you know, obviously the trick as a psychologist is to catch them in that process and to guide them into the process of becoming new, as opposed to embracing the physical final death. And that really resonated with me at the time. It's having a specific value of, you know, death doesn't mean necessarily of the physical form. You can, suicide, which has a derogatory term, but you can bring about your own death and rebirth. You can sacrifice your own phoenix to manifest who you want to be, or who are you, who the next version of you is. I think that's who you want to be, because that's like a little bit assuming you have control, but who is the next version of you that will be? So, the next version of you that will be. And not waiting for it to happen, not wanting it to happen, waiting, allowing, but rather manifesting. But this is a feminine, you know, character. She is seductive. She's allowing the bird to land on her hand. She's inviting it in. The smile and the grace. But in the end, she will sacrifice it to become who she could be. Yeah, I think that you have to ask yourself, like, why would the phoenix land in her hand in the first place? Maybe the phoenix is obviously not a victim in this scenario. The phoenix is coming to who calls it. So, the phoenix came to her. No fate but what we make. That's better, I like that. Yeah. Yeah, Jojo, I'm not trying to be insensitive by any means. I'm not being cavalier or insensitive. I am without music, which is not cool. But I am not in any way attempting to be cavalier with this topic. This obviously means a lot to me. I put a lot into it, and this is important. Thank you, Jeannie. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I just wanted to, well, oh my God, I have a dangling mic. I don't even know if you guys can hear me. My mic is dangling. Yeah, it was just important to me to iterate that. Like, this is not like recreational. This is not cavalier for me, this topic. It's not something I'm saying in an insensitive fashion, even though we're in this public forum. It's important. Yeah. It's better to embrace the phoenix and sacrifice your own phoenix than it is to sacrifice yourself. How about that? Yeah, I did the hair before the phoenix, and it's worked out. I think I might go back and rework the hair a little bit. I don't know. Let's play with it right now. Let's see what happens. Let's drink a little wine. Light up the torch. See what happens. We work on the hair a little bit like we did bird. Oh yeah. Death of bird being her birth. Yes. Wow, that's molten hot. Okay. Speaking of. Sorry, I'm not paying attention at all to the chat right now. It's requiring a little bit of concentration. Let that cool down and touch it with my fingers to finish it. Okay, feeling good about that. And what's been happening on jet while I was gone. 69 years old. That's 69 years young. I love you, JoJo. High yellow gold. Yeah, somebody was talking about a rose bronze. I need to look more closely at. That could be cool as hell, right? Totally worked. Yeah, well, this master burning the living shit out of his fingers just now, so I don't know if that constitutes master. I appreciate your sentiment. Master just burned the tard out of himself. But I appreciate it. That's what you call skin in the game. I like your sentiment. That's exactly right. Skin in the game. Loss of skin in the game. Yeah. Our expedition to exhibition. Nice. Did I kill all the wine? Did I drink all the Malbec? All the Malbec is gone. Why is the Malbec gone? Why is the Malbec gone? I feel like, not Dread Pirate Roberts, what is it? The other guy. Whatever his name is. Why is the Malbec gone? Jack Sparrow, that's what it is. How long have I been working on it? I think we're in the mid-60s hours, if I had to guess. Totally guessing. Started at the beginning of January. I guess we're in the mid-60s. Hours-wise. What needs to happen? I need to come in and do a refined face. I like the body. Might leave the body really loose on the bird. I need to come in and refine the face of the bird and the claw of the bird. I need to refine her face. I need to refine this knife. Give some foot some attention. Probably both her feet attention. I don't know. One of these days, like all of a sudden, 1 minute, I'm gonna be like, nope, we're done. Like right then, we're not there right now, but there will be a moment where all of a sudden I'll realize I didn't know it 1 minute ago, but now I do. We're done right now. It's gonna happen all of a sudden. It's gonna happen very suddenly. The doneness. bird face, the bird claw, her feet, and her knife hand and knife. I think refining those things will go a long ways. And that might be it. I mean, we're actually getting close. Like we're getting in there. We're coming in for it still feels very loose right now, which is what I want, but we're actually coming in for a landing fairly soon, I think. I don't know, what do you guys think? Faustos or something, he's a jazz musician. I like him a lot. Digging this guy. It's a good time. That's an answer to the music question. I love experimental jazz. Dark, musical, experimental jazz. Yeah, I don't know, I like what I just did to the hair. I think the hair stays loose. I think the bird stays loose. I think everything stays loose. I think I just want to refine the bird face, her face, feet, and hand, like a little more meticulously, and then I'll probably just do like a little bit of refining on the surface stuff. Not much. Definitely, we're headed there. We're getting right. I actually really like the bird. I feel like the bird being loose, but I need to pull in some structure in that face. Like again, I think it'll be like just really the eyes being spot on will go a long ways on the bird. Really might be just the eyes I do on the bird, honestly. Leave the rest of it the way it is. We're getting there. Eyes and claws on bird might be it. And then her face, little refinement. Feet and hand. I like leaving it loose. I like leaving it messy. I don't ever want it to feel like it wasn't made out of what it is, which is clay. I like her high cheekbones, but I feel like lips, nose, eyes definition, just a little detail pass in general. Will go a long ways. I don't like this. I'm gonna do something about this. Oh my god, it's fucking hot. Yeah, I don't need the burning flesh smell my wife is smelling. It's fucking me. God damn it, that's hot. Fuck, I might smell again. It was worth it. Don't let the wine overwork her. My goodness. Spoken with wisdom. It's like John Singer Sargent came down to speak to me. Yeah, you're not wrong. It is a concern, obviously, to do so. do think that, like I said, I'm actually trying to pull back from that, like the desire to get super detailed, like I said, and I think that limited dosage is a good thing. I think hand, face, bird eyes, woman face, hand and feet, refinement is actually pretty. I think that's judicious, for lack of a better term. But I do like what you said, Little Diamond. That is fantastic advice. God damn, I got a lot of blisters. I got like 5 burn blisters tonight. Awesome. Let's have a spot of wine over that. To celebrate my burns. Celebrate my burns. Burning inside. I just lost what I was looking for, but there it is. My tool belt. I'm loving this metal tool. The more I use it, I got like a whole toolbox of metal tools. I'm just using the one. No. Ah. Thank you. You Patty. I appreciate you. Letting me know. My microphone fell. I don't even know if you can hear me. Need it next to your pond. Well, I am going to do a metal of this, an alloy, that could survive the elements, as it were. I think. No, I need to go over and do digital input so TikTok doesn't kick me off the earth. Oh. Well, thank you, Mayo. Good night, Magic Fern. Thank you for joining. I'll be back tomorrow night. We'll have like some moment of respite where I like make a plan and think about it. Come into this with a new fervor tomorrow night. Figure out exactly where to go. Like I said, I think we're actually coming in. I mean, I'll sit here and diddle with it. Talk to you guys, drink, tell you Russia stories, and diddle for a while. Just for, you know, little things that I want to change. But yeah, no, I think it's bird face, woman face, hand, and 2 feet. I think tomorrow night I'm gonna start doing those. What I think I just listed 5 refinements, and then just take some time and look at it and see what else I want to do. But like the done, like all of a sudden it's done, is gonna happen soon. I don't know when. I can't say. It could be tomorrow night. Could be like tomorrow night all of a sudden we're freaking done. I don't think so. I think we've got like a week left on this, if I had to guess. There's a week left here on this bird. That's my guess. Before all of a sudden it's done, but said I don't want to refine beyond the point. Good evening from Australia. I love when I stay up a little late and people from Australia show up. Absolutely. Like that actually kind of warms my heart. I met someone in Tokyo from Australia that was a lovely person. Eye pupils are color finished. I was actually liking the vacuous shadowy eyes, like no balls at all, just the shadow of the lids causing the shape of the eyes. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, it definitely needs some refinement in that area, but we'll see. I may or may not actually put eyeballs in her. I don't know if you're familiar with, if anyone out there is familiar with Camille Claudel, but she was very good about letting the clay show through, letting the virtue of clay be present, not trying to rob the clay of its role. You know what I mean? Like the clay played a role in Camille's work. She was a muse, inspiration and muse of old. What's his name? What is his name? Goddamn, someone forgot his name. Oh my God, whatever his fucking name. It was the guy that did the Thinker. Rodin. It's funny, I gotta think of Camille Claudel and I can't think of Rodin. It's pretty funny. In a lot of ways, Camille's very important to me, very influential, important to me, I'll say. Her work is, I love. So Rodin's work was masculine, right? That's great, I'm a big fan of masculine. But Camille's work was like, actually still masculine, but had this feminine value that was just gorgeous. It's almost like Rodin's work wish it could grow up and be Camille's work. Even though he was the teacher, she was the student. You should check her out, anybody out there that's listening and cares. Good night, little Dan. Tomorrow night I'll be back if you want to come back. So yes, Selena Lopez, this is a phoenix. Landing in this woman's hand. All right, little Dan, we'll see you manana. We will do this again. Although people in Australia, it is manana. For the Australiites in the room, you're living in Tuesday. I know this because Tyler knows this. I know this because I lived in Tokyo for a year and a half. I'm familiar with living in tomorrow. As it were. Maybe not my tomorrow. I don't know, maybe I was living in my tomorrow and I didn't even know it. Alright, this shit's getting heavy up in here. It's getting heavy. Very serious. It's turning a very serious dialogue. About absolutely nothing. But nothing that ever happened. Because that's what Tokyo was for me, something that never happened. North Carolina Mountains, USA. Well, thank you, Selena. I love your feedback. I love that I'm in your dreams and we haven't even met. Well, maybe that was a bit presumptuous. Maybe I'm not in your dreams. Sculpture is way a better scenario for all involved. I'd just be wisecracking. Thank you for the compliment. How long have I been married? I got married in, let's see, 2009. My oldest son is about to turn 16. Someone see about Camille? Did I just glanced over there? My myopia saw things that weren't there. Oh, someone's name is Camille. It's funny. Someone Camille Claudel, someone named Camille Claudel. Well, welcome, Camille. Thank you for joining. Perhaps you are a descendant of the great sculptor Camille Claudel. Family namesake. That would be interesting, right? Getting this knife straight is an absolute pain in the harness. Because it's got to be perfectly straight for it to read as a knife. It's got to read as an edged weapon. It does not right now. It reads as a gooey thing that some people think looks like a feather. I actually wanted to have the same arc as the upper beak of the bird. That's what I want. I'm going to create a similar shape as the shape of the upper beak of the bird with this knife, and I have not achieved it. I have failed. She had a knife too. Yes, Selena, she has a knife. Well, she's supposed to. Like I said, I haven't really done a good job with this knife situation. I don't know what I'm gonna do to make this work. That'd be a little too much Vino Veritas. Good night, JoJo. I will be here tomorrow. I hope you are here tomorrow. We will be here tomorrow together. It will be a good tomorrow. Dude, it's always a good night when TikTok doesn't tell me I have sexual content. It always makes me feel good. Not to be judged by an algorithm or an AI. So this is our future, by the way. Feeling good because we're not judged by an AI. And we're really creating the model of reality for the next generation. Trying to evade the AI. It's literally what we're doing right now. I'm trying to avoid the AI of boobies. Who knows what happens next? Morning only started over here. So are you in Australia? The one and only? Are you an Australiite? Do you speak Nihongo? I doubt. Seems how you just wrote that in English. South Africa. Okie dokie. That's a minute. That's a minute. That's a geographical minute. South Africa. Really? It's morning in South Africa right now? Really? My world clock's off. Well, Japan is 17 hours ahead of where I am. Can't quite visualize. I'm in Central Standard Time. 7:53 a.m. Wow. Selena, I love you. At least in concept. Yes, I love that you kept yourself going. Use the Phoenix. If there's any value that I'm bringing to you, I love that. Most importantly, I love that you kept going. That's the operative here. Tough times and you kept going. That's the important part of this story. There were tough times and you kept going. That is the operative part of the story. Texas. Yeah, you're in the same time zone as I am. So yeah. I am in Kansas City, which still sounds funny for me to say. I grew up here. And then I went to New York to art school, lived in Los Angeles for 20 some years. Spent 2 years almost, year and a half in Tokyo recently. Spent a few years in the middle there in Moscow. So I've been around a little bit, done a few things. But yeah, it's funny to hear my own words saying, yeah, I'm in Central Standard Time again. It's almost like I hear my own voice saying, no shit. The Fairy Editors in St. Joe, good God, I grew up in St. Joe. That is where I grew up. I was born in Warrensburg, moved to St. Joe when I was 3 years old, and was there until I moved away to go to New York. Well, I went to Springfield for 2 years before I went to New York. So at 19, I went to New York. I am from St. Joe. Whoever you are, we know one another, all right. Thank you, Joe Fassa. Joe Fassa! I remember you. All right. Well, the one and only. You got to take care of business. Did you go to Everett? No, I went to Hawthorne Elementary. I went to Bodie. Selena, come back. First of all, Selena, you can see everything of this whole process. If you go to the YouTube channel, you can see it going back to early January. I think January 7 is what someone told me. You can see everything if you go back to January 7. And second, I don't know. Yeah, maybe I'll post a video or some. I think I'm going to create some nice photography of this. Make some stills. I'll make some casts. I don't know. Maybe run a little lottery or something. Maybe you'll win a cast. Come back. 14th and Olive. 14th and Olive. That's down. 14th and Olive. Where the hell's 14th and Olive in St. Joe? Is that downtown? And Olive. That's downtown, right? Isn't that close to Bodie? Yeah, that's where I went to middle school at Bodie. Okay. Old Navy Armory. Okay, I remember that. In the hood, yeah. There was a Army surplus store, I think, down there. Right? Used to go down there all the time when I was a kid. Hello, Marina. Marina. Just off Mississani. Oh, off Mississani. I get you. Okay. Yeah, 21,000 likes tonight. Good golly. People are in love. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, Fairy Editor, you're right. I was talking. Well, the surplus store was way. I don't think it's there anymore. It was way down south. Jefferson, what was that? Jesus Christ, I can't remember anything. What was that called? I was about to say Jefferson, that's not right. I don't know, I can't remember. Across from the old Dairy Queen. Anyway. King Hill, that's right, that's it. Yep, my great-grandfather was buried there. Isabeau, do I know you? Are you young, Isabeau? Like really young? Do I know your mother? I know an Isabeau who would be 15-ish? Really? Is that the same Isabeau? Really? Are you in Georgia? Oh, your mom is Isabella. Okay, not who I was thinking of. But I'm glad you're here. No, I'm working with the mother of the Isabeau I'm referring to right now. But thank you. Isabella's a really good name, though. I like that name. When I was living in LA, our neighbors had a daughter, well, single mother, had her daughter named Isabeau. I thought perhaps she was on the TikTok and got referred to me. It could totally make sense, like, because they search your cell phone for numbers and stuff. So it totally made sense. It's like, really? It's not possible? Anyway, next topic. Thank you. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm a little bit, yeah, I'm not doing much sculpting right now. I'm mostly talking. Kind of lost my momentum. Need to get my chutzpah back. I'm gonna come in. I think tomorrow night is gonna be bird face, bird claw, woman hand and knife, feet, and then probably the last thing I'm gonna do is one face. Like I'm gonna really just like, it's almost like I'm holding out for love. I'll come back into the woman face last. But a lot of this, I think I'm gonna leave in the rough state it's in. I like a sculpture that's not afraid to be made out of clay. He's not trying to hide this made out of clay. So I might leave this, you know, fingers and clay feel for a lot of stuff. Ha! You know, Fairy Editor, so you're the one in St. Joe. All right, well, DM me. Because I'm actually, you know the River Market area here in Kansas City. I'm gonna open with a couple partners here, I'm gonna open a gallery, nightclub, art studio. And I'll probably have some figurative work done there. You know, like I will be working there. I will be doing figurative work there. So absolutely, connect with me, DM me. And I am as big a fan of old ladies as I am young ladies. Let's put it that way. I think the music that was just playing was Angelo Badalamenti, who I'm a huge fan of. Thank you. Yeah, I think I need to call it for the night. I feel like I'm doing more talking than I am sculpting right now, so I just need to chill out, come back. I'll be constructive. Love for you guys to come back tomorrow night. Want to see you. Loving the input I got tonight. You guys have been awesome. So 108 of you in here right now watching me spin this model around, talking smack and drinking. It's funny. But love you guys. Thank you so much for showing up. Tomorrow night, yes, tomorrow night, let's do it again. I'm here Monday through Thursday doing my thing. So I think, honestly, I think there might be about a week left on this. And